Hello, everybody. You're watching WNBA Courtside. I'm Cyrus. I'm here with the gang, Kaunda, Alyssa Thomas, apparently. And how's everybody doing?
Good. What's going on?
Fine.
It's good to
Lovely.
be with you guys. As always, this week we're going to be talking about the end of season awards. We're going to leave one award out, which will be the Sixth Woman of the Award. We'll leave that till later because we're still undecided as to who the main candidate will be. Kelsey Plum, but we will have our discussions around everybody else. So let's start talking about some of the other awards, and we'll end off the discussion with MVP. So let's start with Most Improved. I think it's a nice one to start with, and as always, it's going to be ladies' choice. Nthabiseng, Alyssa Thomas, who wants to go first there?
Alyssa Thomas can go. Since she's back. Since she's back, might as well. You know?
Lethabo, it's on you. Who's your pick?
Okay, I'm going to plead a case for Brianna Jones. She has had a fantastic year, I think, because you know me, I've been watching the Connecticut Suns for a minute, so I know this team very intimately. And one of my main complaints, especially when Alyssa Thomas was around, was that like everyone would just watch her and like Whereas now she's now kind of, because now Alyssa Thomas has been removed, everyone has had to step up, and she's probably made the biggest like jump in terms of like improvement. I mean, like if you look at her, she's averaging career highs in terms of points per game. I think she's averaging, I think in also the other major statistical categories, if it's not her best year, it's at least better than last year.
Yeah.
So she's definitely my pick for
most improved.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Good selection. And Nthabiseng, you're going in a different direction?
No. I agree with Lee. I was kind of toying between her and Dijon, however you pronounce her name, Carrington. I was toying between her because Dijonay. There we go. Me and pronouncing names is sometimes a little shoddy, but I think I'll stick with Lee with her because last year's season wasn't A1, but this time I think she just stepped up. I think Connecticut as a whole just came guns blazing. So it's a lot of their players have done really, really well this season. So it's between her, Dijonay, and what's her name? Brianna
Jones.
Yeah.
Kaunda?
You could low-key add in Kelsey Plum to the mix if you're feeling fancy, but go ahead, sorry.
Though, interestingly, we'll get there because I do think that the injury thing does that count. You know, you're improved because you're playing, you're not hurt. But Kaunda, who's your pick for MIP?
Look, I can't argue with Lee and Nthabiseng. I'm sorry. I know you expect me to go left field like I usually do, but I'm even going to give away a clue. Two of my selections come from the Suns. The Suns, like Nthabiseng says, are just impressive this season, and Brianna Jones has been great. I mean, look, how can you argue with somebody who's improved on their averages and her contribution to the squad is actually seeing them perform very well? So I gotta go with Brianna Jones. I'm in Connecticut. I'm out there on the east side, and I'm enjoying myself. You're gonna be yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the party pooper here. My pick for most improved is Brianna, and without a doubt, she's been everything that's good about this New York Liberty team. Yes, hand up.
I have a question.
Yes.
So but hasn't she won MIP before? And therefore, that's my only reluctance.
So
can you hand MIP to the same person over and over?
I always look at this and say, can you or can't you? And this was a thing in the NBA where they were looking at Giannis, right? Where he won most improved, then won MVP. Surely, if you improve from most improved to MVP, you've improved again. So I tend to think that, personally, you can improve to the point where you're even better than you were before. I know that technically that's not how it works, but that's my pick, and I'm going to stick with it.
Okay,
so,
okay.
I love your guys' arguments. I'm going to go with Brianna. I know she has, but I'm being otherwise. But mainly because I do think that, weirdly, we might all have the same selection when it comes to the Rookie of the Year. So, Kaunda, I'll start with you, and we'll start the rotation that way. Who's your pick for Rookie of the Year?
I love the sound of African names, and I used to mispronounce this young lady's first name. I thought she was Michelle. I thought she was Michelle at first, and then I was corrected. So yeah.
So how do you pronounce it now?
Michaela.
Michaela Onyenwere. I love that surname.
Well done.
And I think as Rookie of the Year, I mean, she's made Rookie of the Month a couple of times, and she lives up to those accolades. And I think just in terms of like a promising young lady that's coming to this league and is doing what she can and the best she can for her squad. Not like the West aren't, but she's standing up. She's significantly above her competition. Not like stars above, but I can tell when you watch her play, when you look at her stats, you know that look, this rookie right here is a front runner for Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
Yeah, she's my pick too, Michaela Onyenwere. I mean, winning a couple of Rookie of the Month awards, and quite convincingly so, being on a Liberty team where she's actually contributed quite a bit, it just makes sense for me. Nthabiseng, you same sort of feelings, thoughts?
Oh yeah, 100%. She's done really, really well. She's outperformed most of the rookies, if not all the rookies, and she's had the kind of career that she's had from UCLA right through to where she is right now. So, yep, Rookie of the Year for me.
But I don't know if it's a skills thing, guys. I really just think it's because she's gotten a lot more minutes than all the other rookies, because the coach at Liberty was like, I'm going to put you in the starting lineup. So obviously she's played way more minutes. If you look at the difference, actually, you're looking at people that play like 5, 6, 7 minutes versus someone who's playing like 12, 15. Averaging per game. So it's like,
but
obviously it's going to favor her.
But in the same breath, there's a reason why she's getting that many minutes, right?
Yeah.
Because if she wasn't that good, sorry, Nthabiseng, I literally started tap dancing on your dance floor there, but that's just me. I was born this way. Hashtag Lady Gaga.
He is kind of special, this guy. Look, but Kaunda's point is a good one, and Nthabiseng, I think you are saying the same thing. Interestingly for me, though, isn't any candidate for Rookie of the Year getting a lot of minutes? And primarily, that's how this award is given. Is that when you look at it, the person who's playing the most is the one who's getting the eyeballs on them. And Michaela,
but when it's this significant. Look, when the gap is this significant, though.
So are you saying, though, that you have a different pick for Rookie of the Year?
I don't have a different pick, because obviously if you look at the stats, she's going to be above everyone else.
Obvious.
The closest that gets to her is RM McDonald, but that's not even a starter because she's in the Atlanta Dream. And what are the Atlanta Dream doing? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So
you can be in the Charlotte Hornets or the Minnesota Timberwolves and be in the running for Rookie of the Year and the Sacramento Kings, because you're playing games. You're not winning games, but you're playing games. And I think that's
participation trophies.
You know. Though Onyenwere definitely deserves it, because she's been playing at a team that's doing quite well. They're in the playoffs. She's been a central cog to that mix, and more power to her. So we've got a couple more to get through. Defensive Player of the Year is the next one for me, and it's quite an interesting one, because I think that this might also be one of those where we all have one candidate, but who knows? Lethabo, who is your Defensive Player of the Year?
You know what? Initially, I was going to go Sylvia Falls, but
Sylvia Falls, yeah.
I'm changing. I'm going to say Tonto Jones.
Because
Connecticut. I don't know now, because I haven't checked this. Because you know the stats change all the time. But at least for a while, the Connecticut Suns were the best defensive team in the WNBA, and because of who? Because of why? Because of what? Her name was Tonto Jones. And I think when we get to this MVP conversation, which I'm ready guns blazing too, but I think the reason why she doesn't have she's not at, I think when I checked the point leaders, she's not in the top 3. I think it's Griner, Stewart. Who's the third person? Was it Charles? I think that's how it stands right now.
Griner,
but that's because she's on both ends on the floor, and literally there's a massive decline in when she's off the court versus when she's on the court in terms of the shooting percentage of the team. So I'm going to go Nthabiseng Jones. I know I really do want to go Sylvia as well because I love Sylvia and she's had a fantastic year. I've said that she's giving us a 2017 MVP year all over again. But best defense,
it's an interesting point.
Title contending.
Actually, it's
so
an
I'm going to go
interesting point.
because I know the rest of you are going to go Sylvia. So we need an agent of negativity and chaos in here. So
all of the Sylvias, put your hands up. Sylvia Fowles.
Look,
I don't have
honest,
Sylvia Fowles.
No.
Oh, Nthabiseng doesn't have Sylvia.
Yeah, no. No, I don't have Sylvia Fowles. So for me, I've got two people, right? So when I look at Natasha Howard and her stats, her stats say that she is my defensive player of the year, right? But then I also really like Brittany Sykes, guys. I think she's really dope. And I look at Kaunda smile. Obviously, you'll smile. And what fueled it for me
that's my
for
girl.
her,
That is my girl.
When I saw how she blocked Sabrina Ionescu on Sunday, I was like, man, this girl can ball. She can really play. So I was gonna say Brittany Sykes because of her, like just in terms of defense, I really enjoy watching her defensively.
Yeah,
but
she's good.
What's her name? Natasha Howard's stats say she is, a good position.
But then we're going to give it to her every year. Hi, guys, enough.
Okay,
if Rudy Gobert can win it.
Yes.
To be honest,
if Rudy can win it, why can't Natasha win it, guys?
To be honest,
that's already
guys,
unfair that Rudy wins it so many times. But go ahead, AD should have won it. Not that year, not last year, but the year before. Yeah. But go ahead.
To be honest, guys, I was also gonna go with JJ because, but I'm giving away too many clues here because if I give it to JJ, in my mind, she was gonna pull a Michael Jordan. If you know, you know.
Yeah. So I think we all know. So, but it can't.
But you know, like
that,
because
Nthabiseng
Jones
can't be the only reason.
Is playing well. But then I also looked at Sylvia Fowles, guys. I mean, she's 35 years old, right? And she's balling her socks off. She's averaging a double-double, and I think she's averaging 8 defensive rebounds last time I checked. And I just looked at this young lady and I said to myself, nah, you know what, Sylvia, you deserve Defensive Player of the Year. What you're doing at the stage you are in your career and what you're achieving, I definitely, because I can't give you MVP because I gave it to somebody else, but I'm going to give you Defensive Player of the Year.
So Defensive Player is the fallback here. Wow, what a second prize that is. My reasons for Sylvia Fowles actually were really interesting because I tend to look at it in terms of what makes a person defensive, right? Obviously, it's blocks per game. Sylvia Fowles is second in that. She's behind Brittany Griner, who we should always have on our list in terms of the top 3 or top 4 defensive players of the year, right? But what got me was look at steals per game. That's always, for me, an indicator as to how active a person's hands are in a game. And if you look at steals per game, number 1 on that list is Brittany Sykes. Number 2 is Sylvia Fowles. And Sylvia Fowles is averaging 1.8 steals a game. That is exactly the same amount of steals as Brittany Sykes. Do they play the same position? Are they the same size? Are they the same age? I think those questions answer themselves. So then you look at that and you say, what isn't Sylvia Fowles doing on the defensive end? Because she's rebounding, she's blocking, she's stealing. She's the Defensive Player of the Year for me. It's as simple as that. I've made my case, Your Honors. Now let's move on.
Put a date stamp on that. Put a date stamp on that.
Let's move on to the next one.
But go ahead.
I like your reasoning. I don't think that's it, though. Right, let's look at Coach of the Year before we end it off with MVP. Coach of the Year. Your
Kurt Miller.
Kurt Miller. COVID Kurt.
Look, he got the Connecticut Suns to the position they were, guys. Come on. Like,
no, look, I'm on the way
see
in.
Who else is going to come up, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm on the way in with Kurt.
Yeah.
In August, the Connecticut Suns were like, what, 7-0?
You know?
Hey, I can't argue with Kurt Miller.
11 straight games right now.
Woo. Yeah.
13. They just won their 13th straight last night.
13. Sorry, 13.
Yeah.
guys.
And you know what's
Not
funny
even.
for
It's
me?
unbelievable.
People are not really talking about Connecticut Suns, even as much as they're number one in the league right now. I'm
you know
like,
why?
oh, guys.
Let's be honest, and I hate that we continually make NBA comparisons, and I'm the one doing it all the time. But nobody looked at the Utah
who's
Jazz
the we?
and said, and Utah Jazz and said, yeah, these guys, they definitely deserve Coach of the Year. They're going to win the championship, all of that stuff. Because people want to wait until the postseason comes, then they'll bestow all of these accolades. I think that the
It's not
Sun
the
have
same,
done
though.
incredible. It isn't the same. It isn't the same, and especially in the WNBA, if you manage to get that top seed, or any of the top 2 seeds, it means it's a big deal. The double bye, and you generally have the prowess to go on and win the championship. So I think what Kurt Miller's done at the Connecticut Sun, I think we're all in agreement, right? He's Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, Cyrus.
I'll add someone else into the mix. Cheryl Reeve.
Yeah, that was going to be my second.
Yeah.
That was going to be my second selection. But guys, I think even
2 years ago we were talking about Minnesota, and they know we're near that.
I mean,
we were all talking about their old retirement home.
Doesn't remember. This is a family show.
We can go back to the.
But it's all good. It's all good. Sorry, kids. But you're right. We were talking trash about the Minnesota Lynx, and primarily because they just hadn't built a new team. But if we're being totally honest, they were probably also blindsided by losing the greatest player they've had in Maya Moore. It wasn't one of those where you're like, okay, end of the season, I think I might retire and what have you, and then you got this retirement to it. It was like, you know what, guys, I'm not coming back. And you can't build when you're in that kind of situation. So it is tough. But Cheryl Reeve is a heck of a coach. And what she's done at that team is impressive. I do think, though, Kurt Miller's really beyond anybody else in terms of what he's done with his team this season. But when you look at what's happening in
without
Minnesota,
Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah.
No, guys, but let's be honest. At the beginning of the season, maybe apart from Lee, if my memory serves me well, and my memory is not as good as it used to be, as you can tell, I think none of us predicted that they would get that high a seeding at the end of the season. At the beginning of the season, I was just like, okay.
Lee's always been on the bandwagon.
Lee was blowing that Connecticut Sun trumpet, and now I'm seeing like, okay. I see what you were seeing now, but I didn't see it. At the beginning of the season, I was like, oh, nah.
They did well last season. They did well last season. I didn't know if that would translate to success again this season, but it's gone above and beyond that. And the people who did well for them last season, like Duana Bonner, have not had as good a season this season as they did last, which says to me there's a massively good chemistry in that team. And they can only get better with adding the likes of Alyssa Thomas. Right, let's end the show by talking about the MVP.
Y'all already know what my stance is. Don't even ask me.
Let's start with Lee, and then just say your piece in the 2 seconds that it will take to say the lady's name, and then we'll carry on.
Jonquel Jones, and anyone that argues me otherwise, drop a pin in 10 minutes. I'm at your door. We can fight. Because words, I'm done talking. I'm done pulling out stats. I'm done. I'm done. Let's just fight. I'm going to fight you. That's it.
Brilliant. Okay, we've got your take. Kaunda, I'll ask you. Same.
I've got the Kaunda Chama MVP trophy right here.
Yeah.
And I'm handing it out to Connecticut's very own JJ Jonquel Jones. I can't argue with that. Look, I mean, the lady's doing it all, both sides of the floor. She is, I mean, like, that performance for me is transcendent. I say she's a straight up Hall of Famer. At this moment in time, if I look at her, that's a sure ballot Hall of Famer. She's going into the Hall of Fame. Okay. Jonquel Jones' skill set is impressive. If I may borrow from my daughter, she's immaculate.
Your daughter does say that a lot. And what a good pick. And you're using it in the perfect context here. Nthabiseng, do you agree?
I do agree. As much as I love Asia and she's been balling herself, I would rank Asia in the top 2 actually for MVP. I'm gonna give it to Jonquel Jones as well.
I must admit, I think this is a clean sweep. We're all going to say Jonquel Jones as MVP.
Okay. Everybody likes their lives here. That's good.
We also like to tell the truth.
Yes.
Look, at the moment,
incredible.
you can't argue against Jonquil at the moment.
You can't.
She's just performing well. That's like wow. There's going to be highlights about her career, highlights about this season for years, many years.
But the girls are going to tell you Tina Charles, though. The girls are going to tell you Brittany Griner.
I must say, Tina Charles is
not far
bet for me, because to lead the league the way she has in points per game is pretty impressive. And you know, when you look at what she's done on a team that has struggled, you get kind of MVP vibes about her. But I think much like certain male players in the NBA who might lead the scoring charts, and it doesn't relate to or relay back to performance in terms of...
She's Steph in the Warriors, pretty much.
That was what I was going to say. You know, she's basically Steph in the Warriors last season, in the sense that incredible scoring performances, but you can't be in the running for MVP if your team is literally not that great. Whereas Jonquil Jones has been, as Leah said, the best player on the best team. And I think a lot of people take that as being the best criteria for the MVP. So we're all in agreement. Let us salute Jonquil Jones. She's definitely gotten the WNBA Courtside MVP award. We just wait for it to be bestowed onto her by the league itself. I want to finish off the show by asking a very simple yet very loaded question. Jonquil Jones wins the league MVP. Is the pressure on her and the Sun to now win the WNBA championship? Kaunda, I'll ask you first.
Absolutely, Cyrus. And I think at the level they've been playing, it's kind of like theirs to lose. And how they're going into the postseason. I think the pressure mounts, and Cyrus, at least they're out of that one and done, if I may use that phrase loosely, bracket where they can lose in the first round and then be sent back into Cancun. They're way past that, which is fantastic. But I think with that said as well, that amount of rest sometimes can be detrimental to your performance. It's not always the best to have the rest, cold legs, if you will not. And sometimes some people come into the second and third rounds on a tear, and they're on a natural high, and they can catch you slipping, and then you go. So I think the pressure is on. The pressure is on, Cyrus.
I agree with you there, Nthabiseng. I'm assuming you might have a similar answer. I do think, though, that 1 point to keep in mind there is you're not going into a one-off game when you finish the double bye. You're playing a best-of-5 series, so you can have a cold game and work your way back in. And Nthabiseng, is the pressure on them?
Yeah, 100%. You cannot perform the way you've been performing all season. Be number one, hold your number one spot comfortably, and then go into a situation where you expect people to give you, leeway into not them expecting you to perform and possibly be crowned the champions.
If anything, they have a target on their back now.
Yeah.
100%. So everybody's looking at them like this is the team to beat. It's not the Seattle Storm. It's not any other team but the Connecticut Sun with their loaded team and their big-time coach.
So Lee, we've got the loaded team. We've got the coach. Who could be the ones who spoil their party? Is it the Las Vegas Aces? Can anybody spoil their party?
You know what? I don't think so, because I bleed orange. Don't even do this. So you're not going to get me to chat nonsense about...
I thought it was Phoenix orange.
Connecticut Suns.
It's
Phoenix orange, Connecticut orange. It's orange. It's the same thing.
WNBA orange.
WNBA orange.
Exactly. Because I always say after Taurasi, it's Thomas, for me, at least, in the league.
Okay.
In terms of favorite players. So, you know where my allegiances lie. But maybe, but I'm not an idiot as well. So, because we saw what the choke festival that was Las Vegas Aces last year. We had these high expectations, and then they come into the finals and they poop the bed. Yes. So the same thing could happen in Connecticut. Yeah, it almost went out of bounds. I tapped it back in.
That was like Kevin Durant saving the ball for the Warriors.
Literally.
Where he was like
Literally.
in the stands.
And my feet are still within the line. You can do the VAR. My feet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was seriously about to quote Selani Tambo on you on that finishing school. But, let's just keep it moving.
Yes.
But I do see space. I do see space for Minnesota to make an upset, or I see. I actually see it for Seattle as well. I actually see Seattle, although they look terrible right now, they
might turn it
but
on.
They could turn it on in any moment. Brianna Stewart could get it right back on. That team could still click. I mean, they have the chemistry is unparalleled, and they have experience. So I'm not like people are making a fun of them right now. I'm not.
Two Bird's ankles should be fine come the postseason. Yeah.
You see what happens? The disrespect. The disrespect.
I love Sue Bird. Don't get me wrong. But we're going to leave the show there. Thank you, everybody. It's been an incredible one. We'll do it again next week. WNBA Courtside, Kaunda, Nthabi, Alyssa/Lee. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, tell all your friends about WNBA Courtside.